So I'm currently behind the wheel of the 2021 Genesis GV80, and I'm going to take some time to showcase the interior of this thing. So let's get to it. So starting like my normal videos do, starting from left to right. Over on the left, you've got your normal window switches, door locks, different settings for your seat placement. You can have two different favorited settings: door latch, the rear mirror adjust. Over here to the right, you've got the dim settings for your dash. You've got auto start stop. You've got the lane assist button. You've got traction control down there. You've got a rear latch button and the parking brake button. Moving to one of the coolest features of this vehicle, it doesn't really come through on video, but the gauge cluster is trying to imitate, with its digital screen, kind of like a depth, like a 3D, like kind of like a diorama, if you've ever made one when you were little, where it's kind of like multi-levels, so it's kind of gives that 3D look. It doesn't really come through on the video, but it really looks good in person. So on that gauge cluster, you've got your fuel gauge over on the left, you've got temps over on the right, and big, you've got your speedometer, and then the tach is on the right. And if you notice, the needles swing around to meet towards the middle instead of the normal progression of a tach going from left to right. It will swing around this way, the speedometer will swing around that way. I imagine you're not going to be reaching the 160, or you're going to be reaching the red line often in the car, but they can potentially meet in the middle. You can see where your gear is indicated up top. In the middle, there's a bunch of options you can select through, so I usually leave it on the digital miles per hour. You can have your attention level, tire pressure. You can select certain things to place in that screen, some drive info, your accumulated drive info, and back to the miles per hour. I usually just leave it there. Down low, you can see what your live miles per gallon will be, and you can see what you've accumulated currently, as well as the temperature. Moving back to the steering wheel, how I was just adjusting that is over here on the right. You can just scroll with this little knob. Features some nice paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. Over on the left, you've got your volume control. This button can select if you're going through different radio stations. You've got your normal phone controls. Mode selects the different radio settings, XM, Sirius, whatever you want to cycle through. And this is a favorite button, which you can set. Over on the right, you've got different lane assist buttons. This button down here, for example, will enable the smart cruise control, which the current conditions are not met. Different settings are available on the steering wheel. Give you another look at the steering wheel because it looks kind of good. You've got the engine start stop button over here hidden behind the steering wheel. And moving up to the nice 14.5-inch display. So it features a nice cool screensaver, which features temperature outside, what the I guess the weather ambiance is outside as the main image, as well as what you're listening to, and it shows actual GPS over on the right, as well as the time. So this is actually a represented map, and it will move as you drive. And to get away from that, you just move over on the dial. Now this is a touch screen, so there are 3 ways to move around on this screen. You can touch it. There is a little knob down here down low, which I'll showcase in a second, and you can also, if you're listening to radio, you can just touch it on the knob on the steering wheel and things will change. So to get away from the screensaver, you can swipe right, turn the dial, but there's a lot of settings like map, navigation menu, radio, media, HD radio data, your phone, connected services. You can project your phone onto the screen, memos, setup. There's a lot of settings you can select. So for example, driver assistance stuff, there's drive modes, which I will showcase, and this is where you would adjust what you wanted your drive mode to be. You could change it to a more comfortable eco driving experience should you like that, but this is where you would select the custom drive mode. There's also active sound for engine sounds. So what that basically means is it funnels fake sounds. Now a lot of people don't like that, but this is where you control that. There's so many more settings, display settings, sound settings, things of that nature. You got sounds of nature. You could just listen to sounds of nature should you wish. There's a valet mode. You can adjust it. You can adjust different seat settings for passenger. You can recline them via this screen. So how this works is hopefully it changed the noise level of the speakers, but it's if you have somebody in the rear, they can hear exactly what you're saying. I keep swiping. I promise that is not a negative of this screen. It's just me swiping too hard. You have quiet mode, climate, so you can control things up here, but you'll also be able to control them down low, and I'll show you that in a second. Finally, notifications and the manual. So let's just bring it back to the nice screensaver screen. Going down low, you've got nice hidden 2 vents right here. It combines all the way over to a right hidden vent over there. You've got your climate controls, which I just showed that you could control them digitally, but down here you got buttons as well as touchscreen. So this is kind of a touchscreen situation. Everything inside this square is a touchscreen button, whereas there's also a knob to control temperature. Above that, though, you've got the maps, quick button setup. So maps, navs, radio, media, and the setup, and of course the favorite button to quickly get to those screens I just showcased, as well as your hazards are right in the middle. Right here, you've got a nice hidden spot. So it features a charger port, which you can turn on. There's USB 3.0, USB old school, and to open it back up, you just push it, slides back out. There's also 2 hidden cup holders. This is part of my gimbal, not part of the vehicle. But 2 nice hidden cup holders you can utilize or you can hide away. This is the volume dial, and this is to change what radio station you may be on right now. Since I'm on the sounds of nature, it's currently cycling through the sounds of nature. And of course, you got back, home, and menu buttons. So home doesn't really do anything because I'm already home. Menu will bring you out to the menu if you were in a screen. So first I have to be in a screen. So menu pops it out to the side, and home brings you back. You've got the auto hold button, so you want to save your right foot at a stop sign or a lot of red lights. And this is how you select gears in this vehicle. So you got reverse, neutral, and drive, and you put your foot on the brake, obviously, and you can cycle through. So drive, neutral, reverse. Reverse puts a nice camera on the screen, which I will showcase. And I'll showcase in a second another way to get these cameras on the screen. And to put it in park, push the button in the middle. Moving over to the right, kind of diagonal, is a spot where you can also push a button to showcase the camera. So pushing this button will showcase cameras up on the screen. And then you can get a little 360 view. I'm currently in a parking lot, obviously. And you got settings for that camera. And you push it again to make them go away. You got hill descent, differential lock button, push that. It'll appear on your screen up here in green. There you go. And makes it go away. And parking sensors. There's also a drive mode switch in the middle, and that will change the dynamics of the vehicle. I showcased where you can change just that there's a custom drive mode, and I'll cycle through, but I showcased where you can change that custom drive mode. So right now I'm in the sport mode, but you can go to custom, change the gauge situation a little bit, go back to sport for a sec, comfort, eco, and snow. As you can see, eco, a little more sci-fi in my opinion, but I would just mostly just leave it in sport. Now this looks like you could potentially push the button and lift it up, but really you push the button and these two latches open like so. And it releases a nice big cubby hole. There's a little attachment that can, you know, hold some change if you want to get to it. And then to close it, you just fold it down. Now your glove box, locked. You can put a lock on it. Give you a look at the passenger side. The seats. You got the second row. Sunroof, both rows. And then all of the sunroof controls. There you have the interior of the 2021 Genesis GV80. Hope you liked this quick video. Thanks for watching.